You thought disappearing would make her notice your absence, that your silence would leave a void she couldn't ignore. But here you are, waiting, watching, wondering why she hasn't reached out. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and still nothing. She's not checking her phone. She's not second-guessing your silence. She's moving forward as if you never existed. And now you're stuck in your own head, scrolling through her social media, asking yourself, why isn't she missing me? Why isn't she chasing me? Why does it feel like she's winning? The answer is simple. She never lost anything. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your silence isn't working, and more importantly, how to make it work in a way that shifts the power entirely back into your hands. This isn't about games. This isn't about tricks. This is about becoming the kind of person whose presence and absence cannot be ignored. So if you're ready for a wake-up call that will change the way you think forever, keep watching. And if you're serious about taking control, take a second to like, subscribe, and comment, "I am in control," below. Because after this, you won't just be playing the game, you'll be rewriting the rules. 1. She expects you to chase. You think she's wondering where you went, that she's staring at her phone, debating whether to reach out. But the truth is, she isn't confused. She isn't second-guessing. She isn't suddenly realizing your worth. She knows exactly what's happening. She knows you're waiting. She knows you're hoping. She'll notice your absence. And most importantly, she knows you're not really gone. You're just holding back, expecting her to make the first move. And that's why she feels nothing. She isn't missing you. She isn't questioning. She's expecting you to break. She's waiting for the message, the "hey, just checking in," the "I miss you," the "are you okay?" Because that's how it's always been. She's seen it before, and she assumes she'll see it again. She knows the cycle better than you do. She understands that when a man like you pulls away, it's rarely because he's moved on. It's because he's hoping she notices. And when she realizes that, she doesn't panic. She doesn't feel regret. She just waits. And that's exactly why you need to stop playing a game that was never designed for you to win. From a young age, you were told that if you just show her how much you care, if you stay consistent, prove your worth, and remain patient, she'll eventually appreciate you. But look where that got you. You chased. You proved yourself. You gave your best. And in return, she never had to work for your attention. She never had to wonder about your presence. She never had to question whether you'd be there, because you always were. And now you think silence is the answer. That if you disappear, she'll suddenly realize what she lost. That's not how it works. A woman only misses what she can't predict. She only questions what she can't control. And right now, she still controls you. She controls your thoughts because you still think about her every day. She controls your actions because your silence is still about her. She controls your emotions because every time she posts, you react. That's not power. That's not detachment. That's waiting. And waiting is just another form of chasing. If you truly want to change the dynamic, she needs to believe, without a doubt, that you are done, not pretending, not waiting for a reaction, actually done. And that only happens when you become a man who no longer needs her validation, a man so focused on his own mission that whether she notices or not, it simply doesn't matter. Most men fail at this because deep down they're still hoping. They think silence alone will change everything, but silence without growth is meaningless. Right now, you assume she doesn't care that you're gone. But do you know when she actually starts to feel something? When she sees that you've changed? When she realizes that the man who used to orbit around her has disappeared, and in his place is someone unrecognizable, someone who isn't waiting, isn't hoping, isn't playing games, someone who has leveled up beyond her reach, that's when she starts questioning. That's when she wonders if she lost something valuable. But by then, it won't even matter to you because you'll be too focused on becoming a man who no longer looks back. This isn't about getting her back. That's the smallest goal you could have. This is about becoming the kind of man whose presence demands respect, whose absence creates impact, whose value is so undeniable that whether she's there or not, it makes no difference. Because in the end, it's not silence that makes her feel your absence, it's your transformation. So stop waiting, stop hoping, stop staring at your phone like it holds the key to your worth. Your worth is in your discipline, your focus, your ability to build a life that excites you. And the moment you truly stop caring, when you stop wondering, stop needing, stop seeking validation, that's when she notices. That's when she questions everything. But by then, you won't even be looking back. 2. Your silence feels weak. You think staying quiet will make her notice that if you hold back from texting, resist checking her last scene, and avoid reacting to her posts, she'll start to wonder about you. But she already knows what's happening. She can feel your hesitation. She can sense your uncertainty. And instead of drawing her closer, it only reassures her that she still has control over you. Silence only works when it comes from true detachment, when you genuinely don't care whether she notices or not, but right now, you do care. You're still hoping she's thinking about you. You're still wondering if she secretly misses you. She doesn't, because your silence isn't rooted in confidence. It's driven by desperation. And weak silence is worse than chasing. At least when you chase, you show initiative. At least when you reach out, you're making a move. But when you stay silent just to get a reaction, she sees through it. Instead of making her question your absence, it confirmed something in her mind. You're still there, still waiting, still emotionally attached. That's why she doesn't feel the loss, because even in your silence, she knows you haven't truly let go. And here's the truth. Women don't respond to words or logic the way men do. They respond to energy. They sense it when a man is still emotionally tied to them. She knows you're still watching. She knows that if she reaches out, you'll answer instantly. She knows your silence isn't strength, it's a waiting game. And nothing is less attractive than a man waiting on a woman. A man who waits is a man without direction, a man without purpose, a man still controlled by her. And why would she respect a man she still controls? That's where most men get it wrong. They assume that simply going silent will make her second-guess everything. But silence without real detachment is just an empty attempt at manipulation. You don't need silence, you need absence. And there's a major difference. Silence is when you stop reaching out but remain emotionally invested. Absence is when you remove yourself completely, mentally and emotionally. Silence is passive. Absence is intentional. Silence is hoping she notices. Absence is not caring whether she does. A woman only truly feels your absence when she realizes she has lost her influence over you. That's what shakes her. She thrives on knowing she can affect you, your emotions, your thoughts, your actions. But when she senses that power is gone, that's when the shift happens. When you stop reacting, she starts questioning. When you stop checking for her, she starts wondering. When you stop revolving around her, she feels it. But only if your absence is real. Most men fail here. They try to be silent, but they never actually move on. They wait, they hope, they resist texting but still check her profile at night. That's not power, that's stagnation. Power is when you no longer need a response from her, when her attention becomes irrelevant to your life, when her absence doesn't feel like a loss, but like freedom. That's the kind of silence that works, not the hesitant, calculated silence of a man trying to trigger her emotions, but the effortless, unshakable silence of a man who has outgrown the game entirely. And the only way to achieve that is through real growth. Most men remain stuck in limbo. They pretend to move on, but their identity is still tied to what she thinks. They go to the gym, hoping she sees. They post on social media, hoping she notices. They act like they don't care, while secretly wishing she'll reach out. And that's exactly why she doesn't feel their absence, because their energy is still weak. The only way a woman truly feels your loss is if you are no longer the same man she once knew. You don't become powerful by going silent. You become powerful by becoming a man she cannot replace. She isn't afraid of losing silence. She's afraid of losing a man of value. So stop obsessing over how to make her miss you. Stop wasting mental energy trying to find the perfect balance of presence and absence. Stop strategizing about how to make her feel something. That's the mindset of a weak man. Instead, focus on building yourself into a man who never has to play these games in the first place. Become a man who doesn't chase because he's too busy building his empire. Become a man who doesn't wait because he has no time to waste. Become a man who doesn't need her validation because he's too focused on creating his own reality. That's what truly makes an impact, not your silence, but the fact that she no longer matters. That is real power. So stop checking her stories, stop tracking her likes, stop waiting for her message. Redirect that energy into your future. Build something undeniable. Become someone she can't ignore. And when she finally looks back, you won't even be looking in her direction. 3. She doesn't feel your absence. You think your silence is making an impact. That by pulling away, she's starting to wonder where you went. That she's lying in bed at night, scrolling through old messages, feeling the void you left behind. But let's be honest, she isn't. She's out there living her life, completely unaffected, because silence alone doesn't make someone miss you. Absence only has power when something valuable is missing. And if she isn't feeling that void, it's because you never gave her a real reason to miss you. It's not because she's heartless. It's not because she doesn't have emotions. It's because in her mind, nothing has changed. And that's the harsh truth you need to face. A woman only feels a man's absence when his presence was something she couldn't replace. But if all you ever brought to the table was predictability, comfort, and availability, then your absence doesn't feel like a loss, it feels like relief. She isn't sitting around wondering why you disappeared. She isn't questioning whether she made a mistake. She isn't losing sleep over you, because to her, nothing is missing. And that's where most men go wrong. They think that if they just stop texting, stop calling, stop showing up, she'll suddenly realize what she lost. But hope is not a strategy. Silence means nothing if she never saw your presence as valuable in the first place. Women don't feel absence, they feel the loss of value. And if you were never the most valuable presence in her life, then your silence isn't a loss. It's just the removal of something insignificant. She's not struggling without you. She's already moved on, already filling her time, already distracted by someone else. Meanwhile, you're sitting there, waiting for a moment that will never come. It's time to stop waiting, because the hard truth is this: average men are forgettable. Exceptional men leave a mark. If you want her to feel your absence, you need to be the kind of man she can't replace. Because here's what no one tells you: women don't miss men. They miss experiences, they miss energy, they miss how you made them feel. If all you ever gave her was consistency, comfort, and availability, then your absence doesn't feel like a loss, it feels like freedom. And that's why she doesn't care, because she knows that if she ever wanted to, she could reach out. and you'd still be there. And as long as she knows that, your silence means nothing. So what's the solution? You don't just disappear. You evolve. Because a woman doesn't start missing a man until she sees that he has become something she can no longer have, until she realizes that the man she once took for granted is now out of her reach. The only way she will feel your absence is if she sees that your silence wasn't a tactic but a transformation, that you are no longer waiting, that you are no longer hoping, that you are no longer available. Because the truth is, women don't desire men who are simply there. They want men who are in motion, men who are progressing, men who are so focused on their own purpose that they don't have time to sit around wondering if a woman misses them. That is the kind of man whose absence is felt. Because it's not just about losing a man, it's about losing the opportunity to be part of something greater. So if she isn't feeling your absence, that's your fault. You haven't built enough, you haven't grown enough, you haven't created enough momentum in your life. So what do? You stop focusing on her, you stop watching her stories, you stop waiting for a text, and instead you start focusing on you. You start building something that she can never ignore. You start moving forward so fast that she can't keep up, because nothing is more unsettling to a woman than realizing the man she once knew has become someone she can no longer reach. Not because he's playing a game, not because he's trying to make her jealous, but because he has outgrown her. And by the time she finally notices, you'll be so far ahead that you won't even care. For you haven't changed. And that's why nothing has changed. You're sitting there, convinced that if you just wait long enough, she'll start to miss you. That your silence alone will make her question everything. That time will do the work for you. But time doesn't change people. Action does. She isn't feeling your absence because nothing has really changed. She knows exactly who you are. She knows your thoughts, your patterns, your habits. And most of all, she knows you're still waiting. She knows that if she reaches out, you'll respond. She knows that if she calls, you'll answer. She knows that if she opens the door, you'll walk right through it. That's why she doesn't miss you, because she doesn't have to. She doesn't feel like she's lost anything, because deep down, she knows she hasn't. And that's where most men fail. They think silence is enough, that disappearing for a while will be enough to shift the dynamic, that if they just give it time, she'll start to rethink her decision. But time doesn't create attraction, value does. A man of value doesn't sit around hoping to be missed. A man of value doesn't put his life on hold, waiting for someone to recognize his worth. A man of value is too busy becoming someone she can never replace. If you want her to feel your absence, you need to give her a reason to feel it. Because women don't miss men, they miss experiences. They miss the energy a man brings, they miss the way he made them feel. And if all you ever offered was predictability, comfort, and consistency, then what exactly is there to miss? Nothing. That's why she moved on so easily. That's why she isn't questioning her decision. That's why she isn't looking back. So if you want her to regret losing you, stop thinking that waiting is the answer. It's not. She won't feel your absence just because you disappeared. She'll feel your absence when she sees that you've become someone she can never have again. She'll feel it when she realizes that the man she once took for granted has leveled up beyond her reach. That's when it finally hits her. But by then, you won't even care, because by then you'll be too busy winning, too focused on building, too committed to your own growth, too far ahead to even notice if she finally looks back. And that's the real game. Not silence, not absence, evolution. So stop waiting, stop watching, stop hoping, start building, start evolving, start becoming the kind of man who never has to wonder if a woman misses him because he's too valuable, to be ignored. 5. True detachment. Why she doesn't feel your absence. You're stuck, waiting for her to notice your absence. Watching, hoping, analyzing every little thing she does, while she moves forward, completely unbothered. She's not stuck in endless thought loops. She's not hesitating before checking her phone. She's not sitting around wondering what you're doing, but you are. And that is why nothing has changed. She doesn't feel your absence because, in reality, you haven't truly left. You might have stopped reaching out, but your mind is still consumed by her. You think your silence is power, that if you just disappear for long enough, she'll realize what she lost. But silence without emotional detachment is meaningless, because as long as she knows she still occupies your thoughts, as long as she knows you're still watching, still hoping, still waiting, she has no reason to miss you. You haven't actually left her life, you're still orbiting it, just from a distance. And as long as she senses that, you are not a loss. Women don't just listen to words, they feel energy. They know when a man is truly detached and when he's just pretending. They sense the difference between a man who has moved on and a man who's simply waiting for the right moment to re-enter their lives. And that is why she doesn't feel your absence, because even in your silence, you're still there. If you truly want her to feel your loss, you have to let go completely, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You have to remove her from your thoughts, stop checking up on her, and stop waiting for a moment that may never come. Because the moment a woman knows she has lost her grip on you, the moment she realizes you are no longer emotionally invested, that's when she starts to feel something. That's when she begins to question her choices. That's when she starts to wonder if she made a mistake. But if you're still waiting, still holding on, still secretly hoping for a text, then you're only proving to her that she still has power over you. And a woman will never miss a man she knows she still controls. She only regrets when she loses something valuable. She only desires what she can't have. She only chases what she no longer controls. So the question is, are you still emotionally tied to her? Because if you are, you haven't truly walked away. And if you haven't walked away, she has no reason to feel your absence. The moment you truly detach, the moment you stop waiting, stop hoping, and start focusing on your own growth, is the moment the power shifts. That's when she starts to wonder. That's when she starts to question. That's when she realizes she miscalculated. But by then, it won't matter anymore, because by then, you won't be waiting for her to notice. You won't be checking to see if she reaches out. You won't be looking back because you'll be too busy moving forward. And that is the real power. Not silence, not absence, transformation. So let go, move on, and rebuild yourself into the kind of man no woman can ignore. Not to make her regret leaving, but to become someone who never has to wait for a woman's validation again. If you're ready to take control of your life, if you're ready to focus on your growth instead of waiting for her to notice, then this is your moment. Subscribe for more, because this isn't just about getting her back, it's about getting yourself back. And that journey starts now.